Hey friends, it is Franny of Shine with Franny, and I am here to shine the light on a trending topic. And it is something that happens oftentimes around this time of year. It is obviously the holidays, and so where are all my single people at? I would love to hear from you. So give me a little hands up or a thumbs up in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. But with that being said, being single at the holidays can oftentimes suck. And I'm here today to share reasons why, at least 3 reasons why, I have learned to believe that being single at the holidays doesn't suck. So I don't know about you, but over the years, I am 45 years old, never been married, quintessential singleton. And I know for me, it has been a challenge. I've had family members ask at holiday gatherings or family events, oh, so what is it you're doing wrong? That is not a question to ask. That is certainly not something that you want to ask a single person in your sphere. Also, I have had to navigate some, difficult challenges of seeing, my nieces and nephews open presents on Christmas morning and some of those, kind of rites of passage, if you will. And so I have learned many, many, many things. And I feel like the Lord has really imparted, really in the last few months, just some wisdom and revelation to me, specifically for me. But I'm hopeful that, we oftentimes will get divine downloads that are not just meant for us, they're meant for other people too. So my hope and prayer is that not only is this going to perhaps minister to another single person around the holidays, but perhaps somebody who is also in your sphere of influence, married, or not, and that they'll be able to help then, navigate some of these uncharted territories. So I have started listening to a really great pastor, Jerry Flowers. Shout out to him. And I'll put him and link him in the comments below because I just absolutely love him. And he first opened my eyes to something called cuffing season, Cuffing, like the cuff on a sleeve. And it simply is a time of year, and it really starts right in October, and it goes until Valentine's Day. And so I find that very interesting. I've never heard of it, and having been, like I mentioned, a professional singleton my entire life, I was surprised I had never heard of it. So I'm not sure if it's like a new Urban Dictionary term or whatnot, or a trending term, but it pretty much is just the time, that span, where people are wanting to get hooked up and hitched, right? And cuffed together. And the reason for that, of course, is because the holidays, winter, and then kind of leading into Valentine's Day. Nobody wants to be alone. So with that being said, he has a really great series. I would encourage you to listen to it, especially if you are a Christian singleton. Lots of really great topics in there. And so it really started me thinking and just really praying about, okay, Lord, like I'm coming up and embarking upon this holiday season, and really just thinking, like, what do I want this to look like? And so I really started thinking, like, who are some professional singles that I know? And of course, George Clooney came to mind. No longer, okay, thank you, Amalia, but, Oprah came to mind. But really, as a Christian, the number one person that came to mind for me was Jesus. And since I use the Bible as kind of my guidebook and rule book, if you will, for everything in life, I really started exploring and just really praying about, being a singleton and what that looks like in terms of being a Christian as well. And of course, I can sit here and I can say that, one of the 3 reasons why being single doesn't suck at the holidays is because you get to sleep in. And that is truth, like hashtag truth, hashtag facts, all the hashtags you want to put around that. I love my sleep. I think that is the reason why God has not blessed me with children of my own, because if I had to get up at 3:30 a.m. to like construct that Barbie Dream House or something, to have it sitting there with a bow on it, I just don't know what I would do. Or the little kids who scurry down the stairs in the morning at 5 o'clock, to make sure that Santa has eaten their cookie. Ooh, that's a whole other conversation. But with that being said, in all seriousness, I do have 3 real reasons why I believe that being single at the holiday time does not suck. So the first one, is I did a little bit of research before this, and on Retail Me Not, they actually did a survey, and they have found out that the average amount spent was $330 on their children. People spend $330 on their children. So I know that that is not one of the reasons why it doesn't suck. It shouldn't just necessarily be a monetary thing, but here's the best part. You can go and bless someone else. And I don't know about you, but when I give, I feel so good. Like, especially if I get an opportunity to like bless someone when it's unexpected. For example, if I'm waiting in Target, I try to do this every holiday season, and I find someone, and there have been times I need to go ahead and admit This is confession. It tells us in James, confess your sins to one another. But there have been times where I have looked for the person with the least amount of items in the cart. But I really try to find that person who might be shopping for someone, who maybe doesn't have the same amount of resources. And sometimes I'll even ask, like, oh, who are you shopping for? Just like kind of making small talk as you're in the toy section and asking those questions. And with that being said, I find an opportunity to be a blessing to someone. And so if someone is spending an average of $330, you now have that savings. And I'm not saying you spend the entire amount on that, but what an opportunity to be a blessing to someone and to use your resources to serve someone else. And so whether it be, that you send somebody a gift card or, you do find someone in a store to go ahead and bless, it's just an opportunity to be of service and to use what God has entrusted to you to advance the kingdom, right? Because you are then making someone else's spirits bright around the holidays. So that would be the first one. The second one, guys, is I believe, and this is something I live my whole life by, is that I don't have to check in with someone. I know a lot of my friends are like, oh, let me check with my husband and see if I can, make that happen. When you have no plans, because you're single, you really don't have, necessarily a schedule. And so you can just go ahead and feel free to have those interruptions. We hear so often in the Bible about how Jesus was interrupted, and that's when he performed his miracles. Well, guess what? It's such a blessing if we get to go ahead and be like, yeah, sure, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to serve dinner at the church, or I'm going to go ahead. I know for me, one year I actually went and served at the Salvation Army. On Christmas Eve, I helped serve a meal, and that was such a blessing, and I said to my mom, I was like, I'm going to come late to Christmas dinner. And she's like, where are you going? But what an opportunity for us to go ahead and seek those interruptions and be disrupted in our own schedules to be able then to serve other people, right? And then the final reason, guys, is to draw closer to God. That in those moments when I am weary and in those moments when I feel lonely, and it's going to come, that I get to draw closer to Jesus. And I just get to say, not to be cliche, but Jesus is the reason for the season. And I get to say, what is it that I want this season? I want to draw closer to you. I want to be nearer to you. I want to know you more. I want to experience you in a different way. And so, I have that opportunity. And the thing that really came to mind, I was telling a girlfriend one night, who is married, and she was saying, look, just because I'm married doesn't mean that I'm not lonely. She's like, sometimes, I struggle with my relationship with my husband. We're not always on the same page. Sometimes we are coexisting as roommates. And so she said, just because you're married doesn't mean that you're not lonely. And that was a really great eye-opener for me and a really great awareness to me. And so with that being said, I really just took that as an opportunity to be like, guess what? No matter where you are, right? You're never lonely, right? Even when you're alone, if you know the Lord. And so I think that those are just really paramount for me, is that I seek an opportunity to serve people with the resources that I have. And again, it doesn't have to be with your treasure. It can be with your time or your talents. Maybe you're helping that single mom and you're going to go ahead and wrap her presents, so that they really can be a surprise under the tree on Christmas morning. Maybe you're going to help somebody address their, Christmas cards, or do something, that is a gift of service. Maybe you have a calligraphy talent, or you just have some time on your hands to help somebody, babysit for someone, so they can go out and do those Christmas shopping, tasks and things. And then, of course, to not be interrupted, I think, is another really big one. Or, excuse me, not to be interrupted. To allow those interruptions to happen and to not have to have the plans. It's just such a powerful thing when you can just be like, that spontaneity to go and serve somewhere, or to go ahead and just disrupt your schedule to be able to meet someone else's needs. And then, of course, the last, and I would say the ultimate one, is an opportunity to seek Christ and get to know him more and experience him in a different way. So those are my 3 reasons. I would love to hear from you and what your reasons are that being single at the holiday doesn't suck. And you can make them fun. I could probably come up with a whole list of things like, again, the sleeping in thing is a big thing, but you also don't have to buy gifts for other people. You can eat as many Christmas cookies as you want, like all those things. Although, if I was dating someone, I would still eat Christmas cookies. So, all right, guys, would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for chiming in. And I'm going to be sharing additional thoughts and insights over the next several weeks, upon what I believe the Lord is kind of revealing and showing to me, with the hopes and intentions that this ministers to you too. And guys, don't forget, please follow me on Shine with Brandy on Instagram, Facebook, and then, of course, YouTube and Twitter. And then, of course, on LinkedIn. Don't forget. And I'm Franny Foltz on LinkedIn. And then also on shinewithfranny.com is where you can go ahead and get additional resources, information, Your story, His glory, guys. And I do that through helping people get booked on podcasts and build their personal brands. So I would love to help you too. Have a great day, guys. Thanks so much.